I knew that they were developing it for New York, that Jeff Daniels and Aaron Sorkin and Bart Sher were developing it as a show to come to Broadway, and I was excited about that because I knew that it would probably tour, and which is something I like to do, and plays don't tour very often, so it's an opportunity to get more plays on the road. So the invitation did come, as I was hoping it would, for me to do the national tour, and I just jumped on it because I love this version of the story, and the production is beautiful that Bart has done, and Aaron's writing is superb. So it was something I was hoping would come my way, and it did. So that's the whole story of this production, is what Aaron Sorkin has done with the material. I mean, obviously it's totally faithful to the spirit of Harper Lee, but because he is such a wonderful writer, and it is a different work, and a work of theater, not film or fiction, he's brought his own stuff to it. There are a couple of characters that have been added. Obviously you can't put everything on stage that happens over the course of a novel of several hundred pages. So he's had to condense, as they did in the movie, and everything. But most importantly, he has shifted the perspective a little bit on the story to accommodate the way we're feeling these days about these issues, particularly issues of social justice. And in doing that, with that brief in mind, the first thing he did was to take Atticus Finch off the pedestal, which is a very important thing. We don't need another white savior story. What we need is a story about everybody kind of struggling through to try to get the right thing done. So rather than having Atticus be this sort of perfect father figure who's, the most noble critter, you can think of, he's created an Atticus who's much more down to earth, more flawed. He's interrogated all of his unassailable virtues, given him a great sense of humor, and made him vulnerable in a way so that I think he's more approachable to the audience. And this takes nothing away from either Harper Lee's fabulous novel or Greg Peck's incredible performance in the movie. This is just a different way of dealing with the material. But over the 3 hours course of progress on the stage, it gives the audience a character that they can identify with, so that the loss of innocence that the kids undergo is kind of mirrored by a similar loss of innocence that Atticus undergoes. And that's the number one thing. The next thing he's done really is taken the characters of the Black characters of, Tom Robinson and Calpurnia, and deeply enriched those parts and created a beautiful relationship between Atticus and Calpurnia. So we're going to be hearing and seeing this story more from the point of view about how we view these issues now, without making it contemporary in any way. It still observes everything about the novel, so that's great. And of course, the kids are played by young adults, which is a very interesting take and very original, and can only happen in a theater. It's an ongoing battle. Plays used to tour all the time, and actors out of New York, such as me and other actors who work on Broadway and film, they would tour every year with either a new play or a play that they had just finished on Broadway. This was common currency, and people would come to the theater to see plays. But these days, musicals have really usurped the whole territory. And musicals are wonderful, and I understand why people want to see a musical, because they're fun and they're beautiful and all that. So it's great. But what happens is people begin to think that plays are maybe more serious and maybe not as much fun, and maybe they have to, and in fact, that is true. Frequently, plays are more serious and demand a different kind of attention from the audience. So there's been a kind of attrition where, if the big bucks will go to making up, to presenting a musical. We're lucky, the 3 tours I've done, 12 Angry Men, The Humans, and now To Kill a Mockingbird, have all done extremely well, and To Kill a Mockingbird is very successful. So I'm thrilled, because it makes it just that much easier for the next play to go out. And so many people come to see us who've never seen a play before. They've seen musicals, they saw Wicked when it comes, they see Hamilton, but they've never seen just a play. And they come to see it because they love the story. And they have a completely different kind of experience in the theater, and they're excited by it. So that's wonderful. I'm just looking to make converts. It's a beautiful story. We tell it extremely well. The audience will be very entertained. They'll have a lot of emotions. They'll laugh, they'll cry. It's a full-on experience, and I really can promise people who come to the theater that they'll have a very powerful evening. And bring your young people too. Bring your middle schoolers and your high schoolers. It's a story that, as we know, really has a lot of resonance for them. It's worthy. It has seriousness of purpose and great meaning, but it's also enormously entertaining.